the car now. In a minute, we'll have a few words with the lucky factory girl. Excuse me, I'm from the BBC.
Ah.
Now, how does it feel to be swapping your job, Miss Jenkins?
Oh, it's ever so thrilling.
As Mayor of Great Abbot, it gives me enormous pleasure.
I can well imagine it would, Mr. Mayor. And how do you think you're going to like America, Miss Jenkins?
Oh, ever so much.
As manager of the factory where Miss Jenkins works,
We are very proud of her, and I feel sure
I'm quite sure you do, Mr. Mayor. I understand you've offered your home to the American girl coming over here in exchange.
we on the council felt that it would be a nice gesture.
A very charming gesture, Mr. Mayor. Now, this American factory girl, Miss Pilgrim, isn't it? I understand that she's going to try and live on your £3.15 a week, and you're going to try and live on her £10 a week. Do you think you can do it?
Oh, ever so easily.
Do you think she can do it?
Are you kidding?
Excuse me, customs are waiting. And now, Mr. Mayor?
As Mayor of Great Abbot, it gives me enormous pleasure.
So happy landings and good luck to Swap Job Mary. We'll be with you again when the American plane touches down with a girl from New Jersey. Until then, we return you to the studio.
She's coming in now.
Oh, it seems that the American plane is circling the field now. The studio better return you to us.
On behalf of Great Abbot, I extend to you the heartiest of welcomes and hope that your visit will be a happy and successful one.
For crying out loud. Say, you kidding? Gee, you guys certainly lay a welcome on, don't you?
Welcome to our country.
This is Mr. Green, the manager of the factory you're going to work at.
Great pleasure to meet you.
Factory? Is that what you people call them over here?
Yes, what do you call them?
Oh, we call them theaters.
Theaters? You are Miss Pilgrim, aren't you?
Heck no, I'm Myrtle Harriet Bigley.
Do you mean to say that you've not come to work at Great Abbot?
I've come to work in Drury Lane. I'm a new girl for Oklahoma. Sorry, fellas.
Oh, excuse me. We're looking for a Miss Pilgrim. She's an American girl. She's supposed to be on this plane.
She looks as if she's lost too. That's her over there.
Oh, is that Miss Pilgrim?
That's right. Miss Pilgrim, these gentlemen are looking for you.
Who, me?
Yes.
Oh.
Welcome to England, Miss Pilgrim. I'm the mayor of Great Abbot, where you're going to work.
Oh, well, now, isn't that cute?
And this is Mr. Green, the factory manager.
I'm delighted to meet you, Miss Pilgrim.
I'm delighted to meet you.
Have you anything you'd like
I'm
to say?
sorry.
Have you anything you'd like to say to the English listeners?
Oh, yes. Hello.
Ah. I'm sure Miss Pilgrim's tired after her long journey.
Oh, I'm all right.
Well, transcription of this goes to America tonight. Isn't there any message you'd like to send?
You mean my mom will hear it? Can I talk to her?
You have the freedom of the air.
I have? What do you know? Well, I'm here, Mom, and so far I haven't seen one monocle. That's a little private joke between my mom and me. And you know what else? It's all so green and wonderful, and no fog.
You brought the good weather with you, Miss Pilgrim.
Can a mayor call people by their first names, or isn't that British?
I think we might stretch a point there, Mr. Green.
What is your first name?
Laramie. But everyone calls me Larry, even Mom. She used to call me Laramie, till one day she was fitting a dress on me. She had some pins in her mouth. Laramie's an awful tough name to say with pins in your mouth. The hospital got 'em all back.
Yeah. Well, Larry, I'm sure you'd like to know your timetable for today.
Oh, do I have one of those?
Now, put the newsreels in the press off until tomorrow.
You're having lunch with the mayor.
I am.
We've got a nice surprise for you.
Bet I know what it is.
I bet you don't.
Bet I do. Roast beef, Yorkshire pudding, and Brussels sprouts.
Wrong. Corn on the cob.
Oh, corn on the cob? Oh, fine. That'll make a nice change. Well, I don't know why they all say such terrible things about English cooking. That was a wonderful meal.
Poor old England, she gets libeled everywhere.
Well, I'll tell them when I get back.
Well, how about our coffee? The Americans always say it's the worst in the world.
They do? But how silly of them.
Welcome, Miss Pilgrim. Welcome to Pennyfield, my dear. I'm Mrs. Jenkins.
Hello, Mrs. Jenkins. I'm very proud and happy to meet you. Isn't this a beautiful place?
Well, it's going to be your home for the next month.
I only hope we'll make you as happy as I know your folk are making my nanny.
Isn't that nice?
Well, I'll leave you in Mrs. Jenkins' good hands. There'll be someone here to see you to work in the morning, 8 o'clock.
Oh, don't you worry, Mr. Green. We'll see that she gets there.
Look at all the pretty flowers.
Wallflowers.
Oh.
I'm afraid you'll find this very different to your American houses. Very interesting, I know everything.
You know something, Mrs. Jenkins? I've seen all this on a Christmas card. A picture just like it, I mean. I never knew it really still existed.
I'm so glad you like it, dear. We were afraid you might be a little disappointed.
Oh, no, it's perfect.
Oh, well, I think the first thing you'd like to do is tidy up this. You're going to have Mary's room, nice and sunny, and cleared all her things out of the wardrobe. I think you'll find you've got lots of room. Here we are. There's your case. They brought it straight here from the aerodrome.
From the what?
From the aerodrome.
Oh, what a pretty word. Much nicer than airport. Aerodrome. I can't wait to ride home.
That's the stove. If you feel cold, you can light it.
Oh, I can?
And I found 6 hangers for you. I hope that'll be enough.
Oh, sure, that's plenty. Is this Mary?
Yes, that's my Mary. The best machinist in the county. I only hope she does as well with those Americans. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Sorry for what? You wait till I have to say sorry for some of the bricks I'm going to drop. You know, things aren't as different as all that. In America?
I know one thing that's different in America, but I fixed it so that you won't have to miss it here.
What's that?
Coffee. Come down when you're ready.
Oh, fine. Mary, I just love all you English, but why do you have to make coffee?
Hello?
Oh, hello. Did you want Mrs. Jenkins?
Want Mrs. Jenkins? I've got her. I'm Mr. Jenkins.
Oh, you are? Well, hello there. I'm Laramie Pilgrim.
Laramie Pilgrim, but you're not supposed to. What's today?
Friday?
Friday? That means you arrived today.
I guess so.
Well, hello and welcome. Is Ma looking after you?
Oh, sure. I've even got a stove in my room.
Well, don't turn the wick up. It smells.
It does?
Come and get it. You're late, Father.
Never mind about me being late. What's all this come and get it stuff?
Well, isn't that what they say in America when food's ready?
I think so. In the timber country.
Oh. Well, anyway, it's ready.
Come and get it. And then, just at the height of the raid, with shrapnel falling like rain, someone reported a parachutist had landed down in Mulroyd's meadow. Bert Jenkins, said the Home Guard sergeant, you're a likely one to go and get him, 'cause you know the meadow well. So, with me rifle at the ready, I crept down past Mulroyd's farm.
Be quiet, Bert. No one wants to hear your war record.
Oh, but I do. It's exciting. Did you catch him, Mr. Jenkins?
Wasn't a him at all. Just an unexploded landmine.
Bert Jenkins, don't you know better than to take your boots off when there's company present?
Oh, but I'm not company. Please take them off, Mr. Jenkins. Look, I'll take mine off, too. I don't want you to look on me as a visitor.
You're a fine girl, Laramie, a fine girl.
Now, Mr. Jenkins, what do you usually do when you come home evenings?
Take off me coat.
Well, that's exactly what you're going to do now.
That'll be Bob.
There, now where do you usually hang it?
On the floor.
Good evening, Mr. Jenkins. I've come for the guest of honor.
I haven't said anything to her about it yet. I've left it for you to tell. Laramie, I want you to meet Bob Payne.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to Pennyfield. Oh, I'll have 56 other people said that before.
I like to hear it. Golly, I must have shrunk.
Good evening, Mr. Jenkins.
Evening, Bob.
Miss Pilgrim, the village has a little party for you tonight.
For me?
Yes, and we members of the committee tossed up for the honor of escorting you.
And you won.
I cheated. I've got a two-headed penny.
Oh, well, now, I can't go to a party like this. Can you wait a minute? Can you wait a minute?
Can you wait a minute?
Try. Well, here we are again.
What I want to know is how do you end up with me every time?
I cheat. You having fun?
Uh-huh. Bob, everyone's so friendly.
You want to know something? They're all scared stiff they're going to say I do the wrong thing.
Me too. I've already asked for a tomato sandwich.
Tomato.
Tomato.
But it's not potato.
It isn't?
But it is pajamas.
Oh, dear.
Oh, Miss Pilgrim.
Why do you keep calling me Miss Pilgrim?
Haven't you heard about the English? Very cold, very reserved.
And it's tomato.
Correct.
Well, if I want to dance with a girl, I'd simply go up to her and say, "Excuse me, miss, may I have the next dance?"
Ah, but she's an American.
Oh, all right, then you simply say, "Excuse me, kid." Ain't you never been to the films?
Ah, but I feel such a fool with a missing tooth.
All right, then you simply point to it and say, "Excuse my missing tooth. I had it knocked out at birth by Milroy's car."
At the calf's birth?
I'll pave the way for you. Excuse me, Miss Pilgrim, but if you knew a chap wanted to dance with you and he was too shy to ask, and furthermore, he had one of the ugliest faces in the hall, You wouldn't refuse him, would you?
Of course not. I'd love to dance with you. You don't mind, Bob?
No, go ahead. Hello, Jonathan. Aren't you dancing?
Quiet, everybody. Quiet. Now, we're all pretty proud they chose a Pennyfield girl to send to America as a sort of ambassador of work. And the Americans should be pretty proud of the little ambassador they sent over here in exchange. As you know, we planned a small surprise for the little lady. Well, first it seemed as if the surprise wouldn't arrive in time, and that British Railways had let us down. But it arrived an hour ago. Thanks to Jonathan, who went all the way into Great Abbot to get it. The committee have decided to ask my son Bob to present it, since in 2 hours he seems to have got to know her better than any of us. Splendid. Miss Pilgrim, will you come up here, please?
Oh, dear. I don't know what to say, except thank you. Now I gotta learn to ride a bike. I can't tell you. I can't tell you. Say, is he really your son?
He is. Don't ask me how he got that tall.
I can't wait for the weekend to try it out.
You're going to have to try tomorrow morning if you want to get to work.
That's why we got it for you. There ain't no buses from here. You'll have to cycle to Great Abbot.
Huh?
It's only 10 miles there and back.
Oh, is that all? I feel stiff already.
Right, take your partners and on with the dance.
And this is Mrs. Smith's house. Her husband works in Great Abbot and a tobacconist.
You mean a cigar store?
No, I mean a tobacconist.
We call them cigar stores.
What do you sell most of, cigars or cigarettes?
Cigarettes, I guess.
So if you call it a cigar store, that's logical. Now, over there on Fridays is one of Pennyfield's most important buildings.
What is it?
Mrs. Baldwin's fish and chip shop.
Fish and chips?
Now, there can't be anyone in the world who's never heard of fish and chips.
Oh, I know fish, but I'm not sure about chips.
Well, potatoes cut in strips and fried.
Ah, French fried.
French fried? Why French fried? Chips are as English as boiled beef and carrots.
Shh. You wake up Mrs. Baldwin.
Well, I never heard such impudence. Who do the French think they are?
All right, Bob. All right, relax. Ah, what's that little store over there?
My father's shop. And it's called a general store because it sells everything, not a drugstore because it sells ice cream.
Well, that's logical.
Oh, I'm sorry. But we English are proud of our fish and chips. French fried.
What do you English call Brussels sprouts?
I'd hate to tell you what we usually call them. Either the old man left the lights on or the post office has a rush hour. Hello, Mr. Perkins. Working late?
Oh, it's terrible, my boy. Terrible. It's a catastrophe.
It can't be as bad as all that. Mr. Perkins, this is Miss Pilgrim.
Well, how do you do, Mr. Oh, they say it's a free country. I tell you, they won't stand for it, nip, girl.
But what's happened?
If they do it to Litcombe Bassett, just because it's a small town with no main, you tell her.
I'd be happy to if I knew what it was.
Well, it's all in the evening paper, my boy. It's all in the evening paper. Jonathan just brought it down from Great Abbot. There it is on the front page. Litcombe Bassett. You read it.
Litcombe Bassett, to die or not to die? That is the question.
Who's Letcombe Bassett?
It's not a who, it's a place.
It's a small village in Berkshire, the same size as us.
It's been put on the town planning list.
Is that bad?
It's bad for Litcombe Bassett. It means the people have got to leave their homes and live where the authorities tell them.
It's worse than that, my boy. If Bassett gets planned out today, tomorrow it might be from the well, of course it might.
But I don't understand. Why do the authorities want them to move?
The duty of the rural district council, said an official today, is to build houses to replace those slum-cleared in this village of 135 people. Now, it's tough, Mr. Perkins, but I don't think we should worry Miss Pilgrim with our local troubles. She's an American.
An American, eh? And what's the idea of stopping sending us meat? Huh?
Was I sending you meat?
That was the Argentine.
They're all the same, these foreigners. You sell us something one minute, the next minute they want to get paid for it.
Don't ever let old Perky worry you. He's quite a character around here. Incidentally, so are you.
I am?
You certainly am.
It can't be 1 o'clock.
It is.
Oh, but that's terrible. I'll have to wake them up. I don't have a key.
The door will be open. We don't use keys in Pennyfield.
You don't?
Anyone can walk into any house at any time.
Oh, but how interesting.
Well, I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
Good night. Thanks for walking me home.
It's been a pleasure. Well, good night.
Good night.
Oh, I nearly took your bicycle.
You look kind of silly on it. It's a lady bike.
It'll be all right there till morning.
Uh-huh.
It's a lovely night, isn't it?
It certainly is.
Well,
Well,
good night.
good night. Oh, dear. Oh, Mary, I wish you were here now. I've opened nearly every door in the house, but I can't find it. Hello, Laramie. Hello, Mrs. Jenkins. Good evening, Mr. Jenkins.
Hello, hello, hello. And how did our Miss America get on today?
For a prize-winning factory worker, I did less work than anyone at the factory.
Oh, you poor dear. You must be dead on your feet.
Well, now, you just come and sit down. And take your shoes off. Look, I've taken mine off, too. And now I'll get you something to eat.
Oh, it's very sweet of you, but I don't think I could eat another thing.
But you didn't eat out.
Oh, no, but I had 3 lunches.
3.
One for myself, one for the newsreels, and one for something called Reuters.
Poor Laramie. That's what comes of being a celebrity.
But I don't want to be a celebrity. I just want to do my work and mind my business.
If a few more people felt that way, the world would be a lot better off.
Now, you just run upstairs and put on something comfortable, and I'll make you a nice cup of tea.
You know what I like more than anything else right now? I looked everywhere for it last night, but I couldn't find it. A bath.
Well, of course you shall have a bath. You run up and get ready.
Oh, fine. I'll feel much better then.
There we are. Now you just hop into that. There's nothing as good as stretching out in a nice hot bath.
Morning, Harry. How are your romantics?
Twitching.
Does that mean a good or a bad weekend?
Good for you, bad for me. Get up there, Mabel. Come on now. Go on. Get up. Get up.
Well, it happened. You wouldn't listen to me. You all think I'm as stupid as the blackguard.
Now, Mr. Perkins, I'm sure no one thinks that.
We've been town planned. That's what we've been.
Yeah, I just cycled in from Great Abbott.
Oh, don't just shut up.
Letcombe Bassett and Pennyfield.
They're saying Great Abbott that they're going to be moved into new houses just because the cost of them. Oh, don't just stand there, dumb. Tell him what you heard.
Yeah, well, I went in to get my free tooth already. And there was a long queue outside the local dental centre.
Centre?
Central. And they was talking about how they're surveying sites in Great Abbott for to build out new houses on.
Who said we wanted new houses?
The town planners. They're saying there that 2/3 of Pennyfield is a rural slum.
They do they? Read that, Pop, and tell me how it feels to own a shop in a rural slum.
All right, I'm here. Yes? Who is it? No, we ain't got one. We ain't got one of those neither. Nor those. Well, you better hold on a minute. It's a press news agency. Someone wants to talk to the mayor or the town clerk or someone else, in charge.
Vultures are hovering already.
Hello? No, I'm afraid there's no one in authority here. We're just a small, happy, rural slum. No, you wouldn't know me. I'm just one of the slum dwellers. But I can tell you this. If anyone wants to get us into new homes, they'll have to smoke us out of the old ones first.
Now, look here, son. It's no good getting yourself in an uproar. There's nothing definite in here. It just says they're discussing the future of these 3 villages.
But what it doesn't say is that the surveyors are already prospecting Great Abbott for our new homes.
Where'd you hear that?
Jonathan.
Yeah, I went into Great Abbott to see if my free tooth was ready.
And it wasn't. But he heard enough to make it pretty clear that in Great Abbott it's a foregone conclusion.
Now, look here, son. You're old enough not to believe all you hear or read. Some papers like to make political capital out of things like this.
Is Letcombe Bassett political capital?
Do you want to know something? I don't believe anyone wants to move once out of this village. It's just a stunt newspaper story.
Well, we'll soon find out. I'm going to see the mayor.
Fine chance you've got to find a mayor on a Saturday.
I'll find him if I have to search every golf course in the county. I'm sorry. Look, I'd like to help you, but I've got a date. I'll see you later.
That must be quite a heavy day.
And it's with a man, believe it or not.
Hello, Mr. Zane. Do you understand all these things?
Not really, but we'll try and puzzle them out between us.
Hello, Jonathan.
Good morning, Miss Pilgrim.
How's Jonathan this lovely Saturday?
Fine. Fine. There we are. There's the rations. But I'm afraid there's no bacon.
Oh, really? I forgot the bacon book?
No, the bacon's here, but as far as this week's concerned, there isn't any.
You mean I've had it?
Yes, I'm afraid you've had it.
But it isn't crossed off. Doesn't it get crossed off if I've had it?
Yes, my dear, but when I said you've had it, I was using an old army expression. I don't really mean you've had it at all.
Oh, dear. It's all so complicated. Well, now, for me, I'd like some crackers.
Crackers? We won't have any of those in till around November.
November? Are they that short?
No, they're not short, but we don't get no demand for them till Christmas.
Well, what do they eat their cheese with all year?
Their cheese. Crackers, you mean biscuits.
Oh, is that what I mean?
How many do you want?
You better give me a tin.
Oh, you don't have enough points.
I don't? Well, how much are the points?
You can't buy points. Biscuits are 2 points a pound, and a tin is 10 pounds. That's 20 points. And you don't have 20 points.
Oh, well, what do I have?
4 points.
Okay, give me 4 points for it. But you better make them sweet biscuits.
Sweet biscuits are 10 points a pound.
You know something, Mr. Thane? When I get back to the States, I'm going to tell my congressman that martial aid is not enough. I'd better just take the rations.
That'll be 6 and a penny halfpenny.
Now, this I know from nothing.
Now, that's 2 shillings, 3, 4, 5, 6 shillings.
This I know. And 1 pence.
And a penny. The only thing you don't say pence after is a penny.
Oh, I see. So that's 6 and a penny. Halfpenny pence?
6 and a penny halfpenny.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Thane, for all your help.
You're welcome, my dear. It must be difficult for foreigners with all this points and rationing. It doesn't bother us no more. We got sort of punch-drunk to it.
Oh, I don't know. There's something kind of cute about a philosophy which simply says if you haven't got a thing, you've had it. Goodbye for now.
I'm sorry to burst in on you like this, sir, but I know you've always been ready to listen to our troubles.
Well, I've always tried to be a good mayor, but supposing you come back on Monday.
This won't keep till Monday.
Oh, no, there will... All right. Now, could you put it briefly?
Briefly as that, sir?
Oh, there's nothing to worry about, old chap.
We think having to leave the things we love and go and live somewhere we don't want is plenty to worry about.
I know. Now, don't think I'm apologizing for the official planners, but they've got a very difficult job to do.
Difficult to decide which villages are too small to go on living?
It's not a question of too small or too large. It's a question of social economics.
They never taught me economics.
Our job is to provide houses at a reasonable cost in a place where they'll be most needed in the future. Now, if we rebuilt in Pennyfield, we need a proper drainage scheme, too.
So it's the same excuse as Bassett?
Yeah, except that in your case, it'll cost 10,000.
Is that too much to save 20 homes?
Oh, it's not my money, Thane. If it was, you'd be welcome to it. It's the public's. We can't gamble it away on a village where in a few years, half the houses may be standing empty.
Pennyfield's mentioned in the Doomsday Book. It's never stood empty yet.
Good heavens, man, we're not turning them into the streets. We're offering them new homes here in Great Abbott. Houses with electric light and drainage and a town with modern amenities. Schools, libraries, playing fields, clubs, all the things you haven't got room for in Pennyfield.
I think we've got something more important than modern amenities. We've got a village we call home.
I know how you feel. Now, let's leave it till Monday, shall we? After all, there's nothing definite yet.
It reads pretty definite in the paper.
You don't want to believe all you read in the papers. You want to check up on some of their racing tips.
Well, anyway, thanks for listening.
Thank you for electing me to listen.
Hello there.
Oh, hello. I'm learning to cricket. And she's not much good either. That's not very gallant, Ricky. You all pitch it too hard.
You'll get your own back when you teach them to play baseball.
Oh, she's showing us that. It's rounded. Come on, you're batting. You bat for me, Ricky. But I can't. I'm on the other side. What does that matter? You know, I'll never learn to play cricket.
We don't usually play it on the side of a mountain.
You know one of the biggest surprises I got in England?
What, that we don't all wear monocles?
Oh, you thought my mother... No, the kids. I thought they'd all talk Cockney. They do in your films.
And I expected a dead-end goyle with D's and Dems and Dopes.
Is that what our films sound like?
Some of them.
isn't life funny? 4 days ago, England was just a place that kept cropping up in my newspaper.
Well, that's England. Always cropping up somewhere.
And now, I feel I've been here all the time.
Is that good or bad?
Oh, good. Honey, can we sit down? I get a stiff neck talking up at you.
So we've sold you England.
Oh, sure. Of course, there's all sorts of things that make me mad, like... Well, I guess we've got things that make you mad, too.
Like?
I think if more people could see more people, there'd be more people to understand more about people. Do I talk too much?
Miss Pilgrim, you're a character.
Is that good or bad?
How long does it take a fella to kiss a girl in America?
Huh?
I said, how long does it take a fella
Oh, I heard what you said. I was just thinking.
Have you thought?
Depends on the fella.
Suppose he was 6'2" and dark and very anxious.
Now, who could that be? It couldn't be an Englishman, because they're very reserved and never anxious.
Is that what our films sound like?
Oh, no. It's just that in America, all the fellas seem to have more The dance.
Now, what were we talking about?
Oh, dear. This isn't a bit like they told me in New Jersey.
You know what I think?
What?
I think if more people kissed more people they wanted to kiss, more people would kiss the right people.
Well, now, isn't that cute? Am I the right people?
It sounds to me like a leading question, Your Honor.
What do you know?
I've been with you for nearly 5 years now. And to some of you, I'm just someone you have to put up with. As you know, every parish must have its vicar. And for better or worse, you've got me. I've tried to keep this pulpit for sermons and not for sermonizing. But I would like to say this. It's a lot tougher to stop for a bit of reasoning than to let off steam with a bit of swearing. Now, don't let this color fool you. After 5 years as an army padre, I can let off steam with the best of you. And I felt like it too when I read what the papers had to say about Pennyfield. But I'm sorry to say, I've heard talk of even more worrying things in the village. Things like passive resistance, strikes, even violence. Believe me, that's not going to get us anywhere. The planners have got their jobs to do, and they're doing them in the way they think best. If they're wrong, then it's up to us to try and show them where they're wrong, and to show them in a decent and orderly manner. Look, it's going to take an awful long time for that note to get round the church, so perhaps I'd better tell you roughly what's in it. It says there's to be a meeting on the green as soon as I let you get out to it. Am I near enough, Mr. Hawkins? Yes, sir. Good. Now, shall we sing hymn number 573? All things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small. All things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small. All things bright and wonderful, the Lord made them all. My dear slum dwellers, for years, Pennyfield has been asking for main drainage so that new houses could be put up. And for years, we've been asked to be patient. Now along comes this report saying because we haven't got any of these things, most of us are to be housed somewhere else.
Neighbor, let them try.
They say we're too small to be worth £10,000. Too small because we've no club and no playing fields. Playing fields? What do they visualize? Flat stretch of ground with municipal swings and asphalt paths? All the meadows and downs of the parish are the playing fields of Pennyfield. And if we haven't got a club, so what? Come to think of it, we haven't got a psychological institute or a free cocoa center either. Poor Pennyfield. How it's managed to exist all these years, 1,000, isn't it? I can't imagine. Now, you all know what the mayor had to say about it. Well, he's got his job to do, just like the vicar said. If they've got their job to do, we've got ours, and our job is to see that Pennyfield does survive.
And it will! Well, with you.
And if the authorities don't think we're a socially economic unit, let them come and winkle us out of our homes one by one. Are we all together on this?
Yeah!
Of course we are. Now, tomorrow or the next day, they'll probably be sending surveyors here. Well, let them send them. We won't hinder them. We won't help them. The vicar's right. We forget strikes and violence. But if they want to get us out, they'll have to use the violence. Now, the next move's up to them.
I feel sort of an outsider to all this.
You and me both.
You know, Pennyfield seems to have changed. Well, I don't mean just because everyone's good and mad. I mean, well, people were warm and sunny when they met you. Now it's all different. Like the sun's gone in.
I wish I could disagree with what they're doing. As a vicar, I know it's not altogether right. But as a villager, I know it's not altogether wrong.
Oh, that's all too complicated for me.
You know, it's almost too complicated for me, too.
How can anything be wrong anywhere in the world on a day like this?
It seems even more ironic it should be wrong today of all days. June the 15th. Of course, that wouldn't mean anything to you, would it?
Is it an English holiday or something?
It should be, but it isn't. It's Magna Carta Day.
Magna Carta. Don't I know something about that? Yes, of course I do. I learned about the Magna Carta in school. It was, what was it?
Hello, Sam. Hello, Larry.
Hello, Bob.
Are we all very black sheep, sir?
Officially or unofficially.
If a home's worth fighting for in war, it must be worth a little effort in peace.
In a state of war, our senses of values necessarily change.
In peace, too. £10,000 seems to be the new rate of exchange.
Oh, for heaven's sake. Oh, pardon me. But do we all have to be so glum?
The lady's right, Bob. As a guest in our village has been shamefully neglected. Make up for it. I'll see you later.
Hello.
Hello yourself. Bob, could you tell me in small, one-syllable words what all's happening?
You wouldn't understand it.
Oh, but I would. I understand lots of things.
It isn't just the future of this village. This affects the future of villages all over the country.
All right, so you've got a problem. Everyone has problems. But remember, there's always someone who has a bigger problem than you have.
Confucius.
That's not Confucius, that's my dad.
My apologies to Dad.
And you know when he learned that?
No, but you're going to tell me anyway.
Now you're laughing at me.
No, I'm not. Please, I'm not. When did he learn it?
Well, he always used to keep his savings under the bed in a piggy bank. And one day, Ma said it was ridiculous for a grown man to keep a piggy bank. Besides, it might get stolen. So she made him take it to the bank. But on the way downtown, he left the piggy bank in the subway. Well, for months he didn't dare tell her. Till one night he came right out with it. Beth, he said, because that was her name.
Yeah.
Beth, he said, I've got a problem, and he told her. And Ma looked right back at him and said, Harry, you think you've got a problem. I'm going to have a baby. And that was me.
And in front of you, all problems pale.
Honey, I'm talking to you.
Oh, yeah.
So when you have a problem, you just say to yourself, what's the worst that can happen?
Well, at least I couldn't have a baby.
There you are. You're getting the idea. And as far as you're concerned, the worst that can happen is you get a new home with running water and lights and heat. And that doesn't sound so very worse to me.
Where did you get that speech from? The town planner's booklet?
Now what's the matter?
You ought to join the other side. They'd welcome you. Unbiased opinion from the land of plenty.
But, Bob, I only said you'd have a home with...
Home. Home isn't just four walls and a switch you turn on and off. Home's what you see out of the window. The broken fence at the bottom of the garden, the hill with the sycamore tree. The birds that wake you in the morning, that's home.
I know, Bob. I'm only trying to tell you that at worst you'd only be a few miles away from all these things.
You better save that for the next meeting.
Bob. Bob, you can't go like that. You're mad at me, and you mustn't be mad at me. Please, I won't say another thing about it. We'll talk about something else. Tell me about the Magna Carta.
About the what?
The Magna Carta. Now, you can't get mad at that.
What on earth's the Magna Carta got to do with all this?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking. Today's Magna Carta Day.
Look, Larry, I've other things to worry about beside the Magna Carta. Now, be a good girl and excuse me.
Oh, dear. Why don't I keep my big mouth shut? in a basin of water.
You want a lift?
You don't have a basin of water, do you?
No, but I've got plenty of petrol.
Oh, dear. Well, I guess I better have a lift. Thanks a lot. I was going into Great Abbott.
Hey, Company, Army for service.
Well, for heaven's sake.
Mind my bike.
I got a puncture in the front wheel.
We'll soon fix that. Home, James.
Woo! Thanks again for the lift.
Forget it. Only too happy to return some of the hospitality your fellows showed to our girls.
Oh.
Bye.
So long.
Hello, sir. How are you?
My dear Vicar, how nice to see you.
Oh, thank you.
We don't often have this pleasure.
You know, I feel rather guilty. Oh, thank you. I have a pipe. I only come and see you when there's trouble.
Trouble? What sort of trouble? Don't tell me the font's leaking again.
Oh, good gracious, no. It's much more serious than that. It's Pennyfield.
Yes, I had a hunch it was. Young Thane was here a week ago.
Yes, I know. He told me. But don't blame you, you know. But there's a lot of unrest in the village.
I'm glad they don't blame me. Well, not the blame comes into it. Anyone with the slightest regard for the countryside must see that some degree of planning is absolutely necessary.
Yes, I know. Look, can we pretend for a few minutes that you're not a mayor and I'm not a vicar?
I'd be relieved if we did.
Good.
Now, look, all the arguments you're about to put up to me, I've already put up to the authorities. I can see your point, and I can see their point, to a point.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not anti-planning, but I am anti-blundering. And as an ex-vicar to an ex-mayor, this is blundering.
Unfortunately, there are certain specifications of drainage.
But surely the specifications for a small country village needn't be the same as for towns and cities. Pennyfield's a living, healthy community with a character of its own. Of course they want progress, but not at the price of extinction. I've got a good congregation in Pennyfield, and that's as important today as it ever was, perhaps more so. I don't want to lose it.
Well, what's the solution?
It's not my business to tell you your business. I can only offer you my humble advice.
And that is?
Go to Pennyfield. Take the planners or whoever you like, but go there and talk to them. It might be a noisy meeting, but it'll do much more good than a stack of forms or official orders.
Do you mind if I have a drink?
Not at all. I might even have one too if I was asked.
Say, Frida, do you know anything about the Magna Carta?
You tell me who was in it, and I'll tell you if it was any good.
Oh, you're so dumb. Magna Carta was, well, a sort of a list of things signed by King John.
Oh, that's right, at Runnymede.
What was the list of things?
Search me before my time.
Did you ever hear about the Magna Carta signed by King John at Sunnymead?
Vaguely, and I think it was Runnymede.
Oh, do you know what it said?
As far as I can remember, it had 63 causes and lost me my school certificate.
Magna Carta? Of course I know about it.
You do?
Signed by King John at Runnymede in, well, hundreds of years ago. Presented to him by the barons of England after a forced march across Middlesex from Staines. First, they made a flank movement to the left of Runnymede Island. That's Runnymede, and here come the barons. Then, doing a right wheel in columns of 4...
Father, must you tell everything in terms of the Home Guard?
Did you or did you not want to know about the Magna Carta?
Of course I did. But I wanted to know what was in it.
What was in it? You mean what it said? Oh, that's kid stuff.
Father, Would you mind passing me Runnymede?
Now, I know it was King John and the barons in Runnymede, but do you know what the Magna Carta said? Oh, sure. We learned it last term. 1215, signing of the Magna Carta. Ricky, I could hug you. What was it all about? Well, King John was a wicked old king, and he oppressed the whole country. Oppressed? Yes. Well, the chief clause in the Magna Carta was that no free man should be put to death without his own consent. It was? I can't remember them all, of course. But another clause said the king had no right to bring soldiers into a lady's house and ask her to mind them. Are you sure of this? Well, you can see it for yourself in the British Museum. The actual Magna Carta, written in the year 1215? Sure. Of course, it's under glass in case someone would want to steal it. But who'd want to steal that, I don't know. Ricky, is the British Museum open on Saturdays? As far as I know. Will you take me there next Saturday after I've done the marketing? You betcha. And when you've seen old Magna Carta, can I see old Tutankhamun's mummy? You betcha. You can see his daddy, too, if you want to.
Now, Ricky, here's a shilling. Tell me everything you know about the Magna Carta.
Making movies?
No, surveying.
Oh. Hello, Bob.
Hello, Larry. I've been wanting to talk to you all the week.
Oh, you have?
I wanted to apologize for my behavior last Sunday.
Oh, don't be silly. Bob,
I'm not being silly. You're entitled to your opinion just as much as I am to mine.
Oh, but I'm not. I mean, my opinion is your opinion.
I'm sorry to trouble you. Could I come here?
We'll be gone in a minute.
Bob, believe me, I feel the same way.
Look, Larry, isn't it best if we drop the whole thing?
Of course. Oh, Bob, when I finish the marketing, Ricky and I are going to London. How would you
Well,
like
that ought to be fun. No hard feelings, then.
Of course not.
Well, I'll be seeing you.
All right. Gee, is that really the Magna Carta?
John, by the grace of God, King of England, Lord of Ireland, Duke of Normandy and Aquitaine, and Count of Anjou.
Is that what it says?
And a great deal more.
It's not written in English.
No, it's Latin.
Does anyone know what it says?
Oh, yes, young lady, some people know what it says. Unfortunately, not enough of them.
I'd love to know.
You shall have a translation before you leave.
Thank you. It's quite different to what I expected. I thought they'd have put lots of crests and red and gold on it.
It's not what they put on it that counts. It's what they put in it. In that faded parchment, you see the foundations of the liberties of England. The Great Charter. A 700-year-old monument to a victory of freedom, gained under a free sky in the green meadow of Runnymede.
I'm so sorry. But if these gentlemen have the courtesy to come here to put their case to us, we must have the courtesy to listen. There'll be a proper time to put our side.
With all due respect, Vicar, this is the proper time. Time to stop these gentlemen wasting any more of it. We might as well face it. Whatever we say or do, Pennyfield is going to die for administrative convenience.
That's not true, Thane. The Minister of Town and Country Planning has declared quite clearly in the House that small villages are not being suppressed simply because they are small villages.
But only if they haven't got main drainage.
Not at all.
The whole thing's a dirty, rotten
A dirty, rotten scandal.
Now, we haven't been formally introduced, but I'm afraid that I'm the one who should be taking all your kicks. Now, let me give you the facts as I have gathered them. Now, you have about 30 houses here in the village of Pennyfield, and of those 30, there are only 14, so I understand, that are really in a fit condition for anyone to live in.
That's a lie.
No, that is the information that's been given to me.
Oh, bye. I'd like to meet him, I would, and knock his lying block off.
Now, 14 against a total of 30. Now, surely you must understand what that means. That means that nearly half of your village is uninhabitable.
It's not true.
Well, I am told that it is. Now, surely even the most stubborn among you must understand that a village with only 14 houses is hardly worth wasting £10,000 on.
14 or 40 houses? What's the correct size for a village community? Who lays down that law? In our village, there's only one shop, and it hasn't been turned into an arcade, and I don't think that matters. There's only one inn, and it hasn't been turned into a roadhouse. I don't think that matters either. But it's Pennyfield, and we love it. Our fathers and their fathers loved it. We've known the shape of those hills and the curves of the stream. We've seen the houses become overcrowded and decayed through neglect. And we've tried to get drainage and repairs, and we've been ignored.
May I? Thank you. I do know how you feel about this, and you know, I'm in rather a difficult position. My heart tells me to fight for the freedom to live in the way we choose. But my head tells me that progress and common sense must, for the good of all, be obeyed. Believe me, leaving Pennyfield would mean as much to me as it does to you. And I have only been here 5 years. A few days ago, I went to the mayor to see if there was anything that could be done. But I'm afraid the figures weigh very heavily against us. And so, my friends, and indeed you are my friends, whatever is the ultimate decision of the authorities, I ask you to accept it as good and loyal citizens. Now, Bob, you seem to be the spokesman.
I think you know our respect for you and your judgment, sir. But this has been a hard and bitter fight, and whatever my personal feelings, I couldn't answer for anyone but myself. The decision rests with each one of you. You've fought as no other village has fought in this century. There comes a time when you reach a barrier that you just can't get over. I think we've reached that barrier. I'm with the vicar.
Well, I think we all know how Bob must have felt to make that decision. And if he made it, I'll make it with him.
That goes for me, too.
That seems to be your answer, sir.
Thank you, Bob.
No, wait a minute. You can't just give up like that. Is this the way 3 men throughout the ages have fought to make England great? How can you hand over your village and home so lightly? Does any one of you Englishmen here tonight know that last Sunday was June 15th, Magna Carta Day? Your Independence Day. Oh, I know you do, because you told me. But how many of the others do? Can you quote me one article of the Magna Carta?
Well, it was a very long document.
How about you, Mr. Mayor? Do you know anything it said?
The franchise of the City of London and all towns and boroughs was declared inviolate.
Oh, they were?
You must remember the Magna Carta was written a long time ago.
With all due respect, Vicar, so is the Bible. There's over 100 good and true Englishes in this hall, and not one of you knows even one of the 63 articles that founded the liberties of England. Isn't that awful? I'd like to quote you all 63. Only I can't remember them. But I can remember the 2 most important ones. Article 39 and Article 63. Article 39 says, no free man shall be taken or imprisoned or be outlawed or exiled or in any way destroyed or dispossessed of his tenement, except by judgment of his peers or by the law of the land.
Except by judgment of his peers or by the law of the land.
Is it the judgment of the peers if Pennyfield be struck off the map? Is it the law of the land that these houses and church and village hall be removed from the doomsday book?
Well, not exactly the law of the land. Let's call it the law of progress.
The Magna Carta says nothing about that law of progress. In fact, Article 63 says, wherefore it is our will that free men of our kingdom have and hold all the aforesaid liberties, rights, and concessions, well and peaceably, freely and quietly, fully and wholly for themselves and their heirs, in all respects and in all places forever, given under our hand in the meadow which is called Runnymede, on the 15th day of June, in the 17th year of our reign.
Well, what do you say, free men? Do we fight on?
You know something, Mary? I talk too much.
And I regret to say that this morning, the villagers have barricaded the road into Pennyfield. The situation is entirely out of hand. I'm afraid our only course is to pass the matter on to the Ministry of Planning.
And I regret to say that the local authorities seem powerless to act. Our only course is to pass the matter on to Whitehall.
Come in, Miss Pilgrim. I'm glad to know you.
I'm glad to know you.
Sit down, won't you? Do you smoke?
I do, but I won't, thank you.
Do you mind if I do?
Oh, no.
How long have you been here now?
About 2 weeks.
Do you like it?
Mm-hmm. But it took a little getting used to some of the things I found. Didn't find.
I see you come from New Jersey.
Uh-huh, Hoboken.
Got any neighbors there?
Oh, sure, the Rosenbergs and the McGregors. The McGregors have 3 kids and a Siamese cat that keeps digging holes in our... Oh, you don't want to know about that, do you?
They sound like pretty normal neighbors. They have cats and children. I expect they have rows.
Oh, I'll say, on Fridays, when Mr. McGregor brings home that pay envelope, if it's 10 cents short, you never heard such goings-on going on.
But you don't join in the rows.
Golly, no. Dad always said keep out of family and dog fights.
Your dad was right. And that goes for over here even more so.
Huh?
You see, Miss Pilgrim, right now this country is passing through a pretty tough period of readjustment. And if she has little family squabbles with some of her children, we as neighbors mustn't join in. We're all of us rather apt to forget that we're foreigners over here. And as such, we've got to watch our step twice as carefully. As it is, I'm afraid you've started something that's caused some embarrassment to His Majesty's government.
Oh, gee, I'm sorry, sir. I really am sorry.
Oh, I'm sure it was unintentional.
Oh, but it was. I just thought I was helping. Oh, but this is awful. Should I write and apologize to the king or something?
Oh, I don't think that'll be necessary, Miss Pilgrim. But from now on, be extra careful.
Yes, sir. The government must be furious with me.
Oh, I don't think it's as bad as all that.
Are you sure I hadn't ought to write to His Majesty and explain?
You let me explain for you. That's what I'm here for.
Oh. Well, goodbye.
Goodbye, and good luck.
Gee, I sure need it. I certainly made a mess of things, didn't I?
Larry, you wonderful, wonderful creature.
Oh, well, now.
We've done it. You've done it.
I have?
You can't get into the post office for letters.
What letters?
Letters from all over the country. Letters with checks, postal orders, stamps, coins. If it goes on, we'll have gold pipes for the drains.
Oh, no, Bob, you mustn't tell me. I don't want to hear, please.
But we've got £500 already, and there's still more mail to come up from Great Abbott.
Bob, I don't want to know. I'm in terrible trouble already. The king hates me, and I mustn't get mixed up with... How much?
£500. Isn't it wonderful?
Oh, no. I mean, yes. Bob,
The amount of mail still coming in is staggering. In this office alone, we've received donations amounting to £4,364. The ministry has another 2,000 odd. And not the least of these donations, gentlemen, is an international money order for $15 from Mary Jenkins. She writes, "A small offering in an effort to save my home."
You're a national hero. Wave. You've seen Eisenhower do it.
But, Bob, I mustn't do this. It embarrasses governments and things.
According to the 6 o'clock news, the British government thinks you're all right.
Oh, dear, I only hope this isn't an un-American activity. Now, you know what we promised. We wouldn't say goodbye. That's too final. One day your football pools will come up and you'll come over and stay with me.
We've loved having you, Latimer. I only wish...
Oh, shut up, Mother. You think she was going off to war or something. Take care of yourself, lovey. And right?
You bet, and I'll send you some food parcels.
You can't afford to do things like that.
Don't be silly. I'm going to make a fortune. I'm going to open a fish and chip shop on Broadway.
Fish and chip?
You know, potatoes cut in strips and fried.
Oh, you mean French fries?
Yeah. Don't go for a minute, Bob. You know, I guess I'm being silly. But I thought, well, I hope maybe I'd see some of the folks so I could tell them goodbye.
They had a most important meeting this morning, and they asked me to say goodbye to them. They knew you'd understand.
Sure, of course. I'm being a dope. Let's go.
Now, don't be sloppy, Mother, at your age.
You're no chicken either.
Well, this is it.
This is it.
You had to come sooner or later. It just seems more sooner than later. I know it's pretty dull for you over here with forms and ration books and cold hot water and things, but, well...
Well?
Well, if I send you a telegram in the near future, will you come back?
Oh, well, now, I have to ask my managing director.
Oh, I see. Do you think he'd put me on the delivery list?
I might even ask him to give you a priority. I might.
Fine. I'll cancel my orders with all other firms.
Oh, don't do anything too drastic.
It's not much, Miss Laramie, but it comes with all our hearts to you.
Oh, gee. I don't know what to say. It's beautiful. Oh, you got your new tooth. Isn't that fun?
Come on, Mary, you playing. I'm afraid you can't take that. You're overweight already.
Oh, I am? Okay.